sometimes lingering in his presence, absorbing what he wants to say. That's not a rule, and that's not a legalistic activity. It's something of the heart. But I want to open that channel of communion with the Lord now, if you feel that. And I'm not asking you to be religious at all, but just with him, lingering. What's released isn't just a teaching. And the very core of this teaching was the beginning of the end, was when it just was knowledge. When Adam and Eve made it just a knowing and not a life. And we can see tremendously deep things in the Word and have mind-bending revelations from the Scriptures. But there's an essence that's released out of a crushed and crucified being that's inside of us, that requires more than hearing something, but drinking and eating and partaking of deeply within us. And so just be sensitive to the heart of the Lord. And just a final thought comes to me: may our satisfaction not come from us getting a good meal tonight, but may we seek to reach his heart. Okay? One of the reasons we're on this island is because a people group in the history of the generations after Noah, wanted to reach his heart. Okay? You're here because in this generation there's the potential for reaching his heart.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Father.
And we are, I am, and it's so easy to be quickly absorbed in the atmosphere of the room, in an ark, and in a total environment, in the environment of the room, the people in the room, the chemistries of the people in the room, the chemistry of what's going on inside of us. But there is something being released that's supposed to be an environment inside of us in here that we are responsible for, to find his heart and draw from that and bring that in here. And bring that in here, right here. And that takes time with him. It takes time, not just hearing a preaching that's straight out of the heart of God, and we're so blessed. We need to get that in us, and that's part of the beauty of what God's giving us in an environment, is to find the Lord. I don't have the words for it, but linger in his presence and drink the spirit of this thing in, and press into his bosom and find and start eating and drinking. And find the Lord. Find the Lord. And if you're going through something where you're broken and you failed, then look into his eyes. Find the grace of his Son who tasted death. Find the Lord. Seek him beyond your satisfaction of being somebody and saying something deep and seeing something spiritual and having some comment or some writing. You know what I mean? Let's be a generation that seeks his heart and isn't satisfied till he gets his Son.
Amen.
Can we raise that standard?
Yes.
Can we? And can we put to death everything in us that would violate that standard? Can we begin to apply it with our own hands? Can we say, Lord, it's not enough, these things that have been okay. It's not enough. It's not enough for you. And when the real comes, it's not a deep teaching. It's not what we know. It's not what we can share. It's not what we can do. But it's an essence and a spirit that we've received. That's the only one that's going to make a difference to the Father. So I'm just saying this is what I need. I'm saying it from brokenness and emptiness and need. But I want to enter in with you guys. I want to come. And this is our time for it to be his time. Let's not. Let's get the Lord. Let's get him in the way he's calling us. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's press past ourselves and find him. And just a final thought. He pressed past all that to get us on the cross. And we can never do that. We can partake, but we can press into Him to get Him. We can press past everything to get Him. Everything. To find His heart. Amen. All of them failed Him, but Noah pressed past it all and found Him. Don't you want that generation to live in the eyes of God through His Son? So let's just not waste a heartbeat of this precious word and spirit that's being released in our generation. Let's not waste it. Amen. Let our hearts rise to the call and hear what the Spirit's wanting to do in us for Jesus and through Him. Amen. So feel free to be with the Lord. You don't have to stay here. You can. You don't have to, but just as your heart desires, let's press in. Let's press in. Amen.
Something I noticed that some of you are doing, which is really good. I noticed that as the sharing's going forth, that you something of the Lord will hit you, and you will bow and just pray immediately. You don't want it to slip by, you know. And it is good to jot stuff down. I think it's really, really good. But I think to add this, if you're not already doing it, if something really hits you, just bow your head and just get with the Lord a little bit over that. And because it's on you at that moment. The heart of it, of what hits you, is on you at that moment. And it doesn't have to be a long prayer. It just has to be a heart prayer to Him. And I just think it makes a difference along the way. So anyway, if you're not already doing that, consider that.